Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's entertainment. Hello, everybody. I'm Law the Clown. I've been doing streaming and some YouTube here and there for the past 8, almost 9 years now. And I have seen a lot. A lot of things have changed. A lot of things have shifted back and forth. But because of yesterday and the actions taken by an individual, I'm gonna change things up a little. I normally just stream. I talk about things on the news and whatever, and play some games, sing some songs, and have a good time. But I feel that there needs to be a change. Not for my channel or anything else, but there needs to be a change in my country. I'm a U.S. veteran. I do this to make people happy, make them smile, make their day a little better. So today, I'm going to change things up a little. Charlie Kirk yesterday was murdered in cold blood, speaking at a university, something he was very well known for. This is America. We have freedom of speech. This is not like it is in Germany. This is not like it is in other countries. This is America. In light of this, I've decided to be a voice, to not hold back like I've held back for many years. There are many injustices that I have seen, wrongdoings from people, and the way things could be managed and done better. And I have wrongfully kept my mouth shut, like so many others. Yesterday is a turning point for a lot of people. We saw a man get gunned down simply because someone didn't like what he was saying. There's a lot of things I don't agree with. There's groups and individuals that spout off nonsense that I personally don't agree with. But when I fought for this country, it was so those individuals had the right to say that nonsense, to speak their truth. Here's the worst part about it. Charlie Kirk, he was only speaking the truth. Using logic, using statistics, And because of that, his life was taken. So, in light of such things, I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be speaking truth. I'm going to be calling people out for their nonsense and everything else. So, every once in a while, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to try to make this more of a well put together video, showing highlights of stupidity and calling people out. And if you'd like to join me on that and have a good laugh, stay tuned. But for today, we're going to call some people out. So I've gone ahead and I have a bunch of random videos that I think will be interesting. We're going to put some together here. We're going to make it good. And we're going to listen to this. These individuals here are happy that a man lost his life. I don't care what your political left or right or whatever your thing is. You can be whatever you want to be. You can say what you want to say here. It is always a sad case when a person loses their life because somebody didn't like what they were saying. This man was 31 years old. He had 2 kids and a loving wife. They are now going to grow up without their father because somebody didn't like what he was saying. All right, here we go. We got some TikToks we're going to watch. Let's take a listen to this and see what this enlightened looking individual has to say. Yeah, all right.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. No matter what side of politics you are, you shouldn't be like, yay, something bad happened to you. And you know, yeah, I agree with that. Okay, she spoke some truth there. You shouldn't do that. But she says, let's say maybe they got something going here. Maybe I'm gonna give her benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's gonna continue this good speech that's coming out of her mouth right now.
I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Was Charlie Kirk a bad person? I don't think so. In a lot of cases, I've seen him do his stand-up, if you will, his thing in colleges and his debates. He's always been pretty respectful, even to people that weren't respectful to him. He was a devout Christian. You know, got a couple kids, loving wife. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think he's a bad person. You know who might be a bad person though? You know that Fauci guy? You know, didn't he hurt and torture animals? Wasn't that part of his experimentation for shit? I don't know. Maybe that's a rumor, but I thought he did some bad things to dogs. I don't wish anything bad to anybody. It's just the way it is. Why? What's the point of it? Right? Now, if you had like someone like Fauci or something that did some horrible things to animals or something like that, and then you said a stampede of beagles ran him down and trampled his ass a little bit, yeah, I'd have a laugh at that. I would chuckle. I would chuckle at that because that's kind of like karma, and that's kind of funny as fuck to think about. Losing their life over speech, over what they're saying. No, I can't get behind that. Starry snake bites.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
This motherfucker have an orgasm. Like, did they just get off to the fact that this person died? No way. Oh yeah, it looks like they did. Jesus.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
Ma'am or fella, I can't tell. I don't think you should be having orgasms on TikTok. That's a lot, especially to somebody passing away or getting shot. I think that's pretty disgusting. Yes, I'm just saying. What's with the people with the man? Is it just me, or is there like a lot of metal on this person's face? Is there just a lot of metal here, or is it just me? Yeah. So we had one with the snake bites here. We have upper snake bites and a nose ring. Oh, and a horrible Edna Mode haircut. Oh boy, it's pretty bad. Bad decisions all the way around. Listen, you may not like a person having literally an orgasm because someone's dead is a little freaking much. So why don't you go get some hair extensions so your hair looks normal, and get a magnet and just kind of pop that stuff out your face and be a normal human. You know, be a decent human being for God's sakes. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, breaking news, folks. Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the fancy fashion.
Sir, you need to trim that beard. Holy cow. I mean, I've let my beard go a little bit here and there, but sir, trim it up. I mean, that's stash. I mean, I know about some stashes. How do you kiss your lady with that? Or dude, or whatever you're into. How? They'd be eating hairs. They could floss their teeth with this guy's mustache hair. That's, you know, I like a good mustache. Don't get me wrong. I do like a little bit of wax on that. Might be wonderful, but that thing has never seen wax or oil or any kind of like upkeep. I mean, he's got fuzzies, and I think it's a mullet too. And mullets were big once. They were big once, and that's cool. But man, not that. It's like his mullet and his beard have fused into one big clusterfuck, and he's balding really bad. So obviously he's got the cap on. You always can tell a guy is losing the hair when he puts the ball cap on, and he's got, you know what I'm saying? Got the thick beard. He's growing hair here and on his chest, but not up there. Maybe because like all his brain cells are falling out, you know? It's just falling out of him. you know, just escaping through his pores. I don't know. Let's hear that country accent and let's see what you got to say. Come on, pissed off bartender.
Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the Fastest favorite 5-mile wide mouthpieces, Charles.
I guarantee he cannot say that 5 times fast. He barely had enough energy to get it out once. That's all I heard right there. Let's listen to that again. Let me just try to go back a little bit and listen again.
Fastest favorite 5-mile wide mouth.
Sorry.
One of the Fastest favorite 5-mile wide mouthpieces, Charles Chuckle Kirk.
That's all I heard. I have no idea. Something about fascist. That's like a favorite word for people. Oh, you're a fascist. Can you spell it? Can you get the definition? Do you need it used in a sentence properly? Oh boy, this guy. Whoo! That's a wild one. Okay, well, trim your beard, fix your hairline, and do something with the stash, man. Come on. The girls and the boys don't want to be kissing that.
Kurt.
Like, I want to know, how sad are you? You're making a TikTok trying to get other people to say booyah with you. Really? You gonna do a little Teen Titans booyah? Really? What are you, 5? This is the person that didn't grow up on Teen Titans. This is the person that grew up on Teen Titans Go. You can tell by that facial expression of just dumb fury. The benefit of this is, everybody, that none of you watching this have to wake up like next to that. Like, what is that face? What is that face? Are you so over ecstatic with joy that somebody's life has been extinguished by the hands of some cowardly piece of crap? Is that really it? That must be it. That's pathetic. I'm just gonna say. And that's coming from a clown on the internet. That's pathetic. That's pathetic. Just saying. So this guy right here, he's gonna be asking some people what they think about it. Now, I want you all to know this. If somebody approaches me, camera, equipment, whatever, and they ask me, hey, what do you think about this? If someone asks me, hey, so-and-so passed away, I don't even have to know the person. I do not even have to know the person. They could say, so-and-so passed away. And I would say, that is sad. That is sad. That sucks. That's horrible. I mean, that is just a natural human reaction to that is, oh my God, somebody died. I'm sorry to hear that. Especially when you hear the circumstances of how they died. That's important. So if they died in a brutal and horrible way for no apparent reason, that's important. That's like, makes it worse. It's like, oh my God, that's even worse. Now, I have told people that before, and I've had a few people say like, well, what if somebody told you, oh, Hitler died? I would say, and hear me out, you can quote me on this, and you better get the full quote. Don't cut it. Get the full quote. Somebody told me, hey, Hitler died. I would say, wow, that sucks. You know why? Because the reason is, I want this guy to stand for the crimes that he did. Not cowardly run off into the sunset, not cowardly uninstall himself, but to stand for the crimes and face the music that they did. Because I think that's right. This is the responses that some people, and looks like a college campus. I'm guessing it's a college campus because I got people with backpacks on. I got the fancy little street lights. I got the nice little brickwork on the ground, and somebody's riding one of those stupid scooters down the road. So I'm guessing this is probably a campus. Let's see what some of these people have to say when they're asked about this. Let's take a look.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. No remorse. I don't care. That's good. Wonderful. It's either two things. It's either they're legitimately happy that this person has passed away. And being on a college campus, you have to know that they probably know who this guy is. He's visited a lot of college campuses. He's visited a lot of places, and they probably know who he is. right? And her being like, oh, that's good. Or this girl is probably so dead inside that you could tell her that her like baby puppy that her parents gave her before she went to college or something, because it's just got ran over by a car. She'd be like, oh, that's good. Because she just does not care about life, does not care about herself, does not care about any other person in the world. Or she could be extremely selfish. We don't know. But I'm just, the way she's dressed, probably not. But you never know. You never know. She's racking up student debt right now because she thinks she probably won't have to pay it back. Okay, we'll see.
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it.
That attitude, well, somebody had to do it. Did somebody have to shoot Lincoln? Is that what you're saying? Was that necessary? You're saying somebody had to shoot Charlie Kirk? Really? That's really the answer of the day, is someone had to do it. I don't know who these people are. I don't know. They're randoms on the street for this thing. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I was a hiring manager somewhere and I saw them, I would not hire them. Because I know that they're devoid of like a conscience. And that's sad. That's pretty bloody sad.
And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
yes.
Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
One, I don't think she knows definitions of things. Let's just put it that way. He's a disgusting person. Like, see, this is my problem with some of these interviews, and I know they're just trying to get an idea of the mindset, is there's no accountability to anything. My next question would be like, okay, how? The problem is you have people throwing out words, throwing out catchphrases, key words that have been fed into people's brains, like the little monkeys they are out here. Like, oh, here's a banana. You used a good word. Here's a banana. And that's what it is, right? They think they get this ideological satisfaction from spewing out the same crap they hear online or on Reddit or whatever else. And this is the problem. You don't have people thinking for themselves. She's using words she doesn't understand, obviously. Calling this person disgusting. I mean, you're going to have to give me a reason why, lady. You're going to have to tell me, hey, how is he disgusting? Tell me, how is this guy disgusting? How does he fit any of the words you just used to describe him, right? You have all these words to describe this individual being disgusting and all that, but you have no basis of how he is or how he was, any of those things. But yet you're going to use them like he is. But yet if somebody asks you, hey, what is a woman? You're going to be like, huh? It's somebody who thinks they are. No, that's not the right answer. You failed. I'd give you a big F on your score. Put a circle around it with arrows. You suck. Red pen, 100% red pen. Make sure that F is super solid too, so you can't try to turn it into an A, because you're tricky like that. I'm just saying, this is the problem right here. This is the problem. And what scares me is that individuals like this, they go to college, they think, like, because I've been to college and I've done it, and it's you have a lot of individuals that some are there to actually learn some things and get some skills, some knowledge, some trade, and then you have some people that just go to college to say, oh, I went to college, who go there to simply say, oh, I went to college, oh, I got a degree in whatever. What good is your degree, right? What did you actually learn? A degree is useless if it does nothing, right? Like, I could get a degree in certain sciences that I could never use and that you would never use and the average person would never use, right? And no one will freaking use, but you have a degree in it, It's kind of like algebra. There's some jobs out there you can use some algebra too, right? Trigonometry. There's some jobs you can use some trigonometry to. There's some jobs, but what is the real basis of society when it comes to math? Adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, the basics. And you know what? You use those more than any other specialty field in math. I don't know about you, but never at my job as a boss ever came into me and said, yo, Lala, solve for X. You know? No, never. No one's ever done that. And there's not even a average job situation where you're like, let me solve for X. It just doesn't come up, right? If you're working a cash register, you're counting, right? If you're, like, what I'm saying? It's not hard, but I'm saying, like, there's math that's out there that's useful, but there's math that's out there that you're not going to ever use. That's just what it is. And if you're solving X at your job, you got to tell me down in the comments what your job is, because, man, I am curious how you applied that. And did you do it right? Did you pull out the calculator? Did your boss ask to see your work at the end of it? I know you solved for X and it's right, but you missed that line. You missed that line right there. See that? Why'd you skip that step? Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. This is the news coming in, talking about this. Let's take a look.
Full details of this, that we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off.
Wait, what? What? What?
That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off.
This is MSNBC, bro. He literally said, we don't know if this is a supporter shooting their gun off. Are you tripping? I don't know about you, but we're not in freaking Afghanistan. We're not in Iraq where it's a wedding and we're like, yay, 47s. This is not that. And notice when that does occur, and you see videos on it online where in certain countries they'll shoot in the air and stuff for a celebratory state of affairs, and you see all that and you're like, yay, how fun would that be? You notice on the average they're pointing the guns up. And if you haven't seen the video of Charlie Kirk, which if you haven't, maybe you should avoid it because it is gruesome. That bullet didn't come from the sky. This wasn't a stray. This was pointed at him with intent. So that is the most ridiculous comment right there. This is a news agency. I'm sorry, but like, there's a lot of things I want government to stay out of, okay? I want the government to stay out of medical stuff. I want the government to stay out of insurance stuff. There's a lot of stuff I want the government to stay out of. There is a time and place where we as a people need the government to keep us protected from stupid crap. For example, medical stuff. I don't think the government should step into medical. They're like saying, well, you can't have painkillers, you can't have anything to make you comfortable. Government should have nothing to say with that. But what they should have to say is the prices of stuff. Why is an EpiPen so bloody expensive when it could save a life? Why can't I not just go online, get an EpiPen to save somebody's life that I could keep in my bag? Oh no, they're dying. Oh no, this happened. Let me, and they're safe. I can't afford it. It's too much. Costs $10 to make or something silly like that, but they want to charge so much for it. Insane. A bag of saline solution to hydrate you costs, I believe it's like $500. It costs like $10 to make. That is a ridiculous upcharge. I'm sorry. This is where I think government needs to step in and say, no. You can upscale charge to a certain point before it becomes like a price gouging and just insane situation. Because you can't say no when you need saline. You can't say no when you need blood. You can't say no when you're on a table and you need these things to survive. And they're like, oh, well, that's going to be $300,000. What? Here's your bill. That's where I want to say government needs to come in and say, no. Let's say a doctor wants to prescribe a certain medication. Insurance doesn't want to cover the medication. But the doctor says that it's mandatory or needed for them to have a quality of life. I don't think insurance companies should be able to say no to that. they can look for alternatives. Like, let's say you have the like ibuprofen official or ibuprofen generic. That's fine. It's the same bloody thing, just one with a name brand. So go for the one without the name brand. That's perfectly acceptable. But when you get down to the nitty gritty, it needs to be permitted and pushed upon that they're able to supply these people. And I think that's fair. I think the government needs to step in on news agencies. You need to get 3-strike method. That's it. 3 strikes, you're out. And what I mean by that is, if you are on television and you are telling the American people whatever it is, you better be telling them the freaking truth. Saying that, oh, we don't know, or this kind of nonsense, basically lying to the people, making them think, oh, it was maybe an accident. That was no accident. You're basically lying to the American people at that point, saying that, oh, we don't know if it was an accident. Yeah, no, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And if you don't need a job there, because if you're that dumb, you don't need to be working anywhere. We need to get you in a facility immediately because your mental state is gone. All right, let's continue with this MSNBC nonsense.
In celebration, or so we have no idea.
Let's say this is also MSNBC. Let's see what this guy has, this bald guy with the glasses. Horrible webcam, by the way. Let's take a listen to what he has to say.
Divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of...
Here we go. Keyword, hate speech. Again, you've heard it a million times. I've heard it a million times. There's no such thing. There's no definition of it. It is a keyword. It is a buzzword. It is nothing. There's no such thing as hate speech. There is hateful speech, right? There's racist speech. There's all kinds of, like, if you're being hateful towards an individual. Charlie Kirk has not been hateful. You're going to have to show me a clip, you bald. You have to show me a clip. Show me a clip where he was being hateful to somebody, especially somebody that was not hateful to him at all. Show me a clip. You got to put down the proof if you're going to make such a stupid and bold claim of a man who's passed away. Go for it. I guarantee you have nothing.
Sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words.
Oh, what is this guy? A 5-year-old teacher? Oh my God. Like, listen to that. He's like, certain groups. What groups? Give me a name. Give me a context. I need a context from you, man. You're going to have to give me a context of exactly what the you're talking about. You're going to have to say, oh, this hate towards certain groups. What groups? What groups? Oh, what groups specifically? Was it the Black Lives Matter group? You know, the group that siphoned out millions of dollars and a lot of money, and people siphoned money out of that, where people thought they were donating to help the communities of underprivileged and things like that, and they just took that money and they're just going to do whatever they want with it. Is it that group? You know, the group that wrongfully, I would say legally, siphoned money from people that could have used it, could have needed it, could have taken it and done something amazing. Because I don't remember Black Lives Matter ever being like, hey, everybody, we just rebuilt a park in the middle of the hood and we made it good, right? We cleaned up all the needles. I don't remember seeing that. Oh, what I do remember seeing is one of the leaders buying a multi-million-dollar house, hooking it up in a nice neighborhood. I'm just, okay, all right. Give me some proof, man.
Hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in. That's
the environment created by one side more than the other. I'm sorry. Hateful thoughts lead to hateful verbiage, lead to hateful actions. Okay, it's not hateful thoughts speaking the truth. It's not. Okay. Charlie Kirk going out there and saying, hey, give me a definition of a woman. That's not hateful. That's just like, hey, are you smarter than a 5th grader? That's the question that is. Okay. That's not hateful. That's just being honest. And being honest, you don't like because it doesn't go with your narrative. It doesn't go with your personal thoughts, beliefs, or whatever the heck it is, you know? So, dude, shut up. Like, I don't even know who you are, but you got no brain in there. Obviously, I could see through this guy's skull into his brain, and I don't see any sparking activity because, geez, what is that? Hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, lead to hateful actions. No, that's not. No. Hateful thoughts can be brought on by what? Hateful bullshit. There you go. So if you got some stupidity in the world and you're thinking to yourself, like, why is this going on? This is dumb. I hate this. I hate what's going on. I can say personally, I hate that Charlie Kirk passed away. I can say personally, I hate that that happened to him, that he was taken out of his children's lives. I can say that. Is that going to be hateful words? No, that's the truth. I hate that his life was stricken from him because somebody didn't like what he was saying, right? Hateful actions. Here's my actions. This video. There's my actions. They don't want the actions. They don't want good men and good women to stand up and say, that's enough. That's what they don't want that. No. They want us, like we've been for years, sitting in the corner, not saying a word, afraid to say the wrong thing for being, oh, we might get canceled. I don't care anymore. Canceled, I'm canceled. Guess what? You can't cancel me because I don't care what you say. You can spout off. It does not matter to me. What else you got to say, Mr. Man? What else you got to say?
People just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have, and then
you can't stop awful thoughts you have. I totally can. If you have awful thoughts, it's called self-control. Get some of it. Okay? You can't stop it. Yeah, only the weak-minded cannot stop the awful thoughts. It's like in protests and things like that. You have some individuals there just to protest and be peaceful and things like that. You have other people with awful thoughts, with basically the brain cells of a gnat that can't control themselves enough that they got to throw a brick through a window or a Molotov cocktail into a gas station. Those individuals right there. Yeah, the ignorant individuals, the uncontrolled or controllable individuals. Because let's be honest, we all have a bad thought here and there. I was looking at a cookie the other day like, man, I really want to eat that cookie, but I knew that that was bad for me, and I didn't eat that cookie. It's called self-control. Maybe if this guy had some, he could put a tie on and like work on his freaking attitude.
saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Whoa! What did you say? Wait, what did this guy just say what I think he said? Hold on, we gotta go back. Hold on. Say that again.
Awful thoughts you have, and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place. Back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
This guy, he said it. He said it. He actually, I can't believe this guy is so stupid. He actually said that. You can't expect awful actions like this to take place. Is that really what this idiot said?
Saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
And not expect awful actions to take place. That is a horrible thing to say. That is an absolute horrible thing to say. I can't with this guy. Next.
And then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Wow, De Niro, bro. You're not that guy. You're not that dude. Come on, man. You're not. Come on, man. Like, yeah, you've played badasses in movies and shit. You know, you got the scowl, but you were never that guy, you know? Like, Joe Pesci was more that guy than you, okay? because his little Napoleon complex thing going on, man. I swear I could see him jumping on top of some tall guy and just punching him in the face. I could see that. But De Niro, you're not. Come on, man.
I said if we were in high school, I'd take you behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
What? If we were in high school, I try not to poop my pants. Really? Joe Biden is no. I would say there's a lot of people in the world that I would say like, oh yeah, this dude would smack the crap out of somebody. Joe Biden is not it. Joe Biden is not it. Even in his youth, I would not say he is. He's in it all.
Punch some people in the face.
Look at her face. She is. Oh, I don't blame you, girl. You're a good actress. You're kind of just, you're part of a thing now, And then you got this guy who is the worst Hellboy I've ever seen in my life. Yelling some shit, holding a trophy.
Punch some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
That Johnny Depp, what are you doing, bro? Johnny. No, that's a bad Johnny. It's a bad Johnny. Stop that. No, bad, naughty Johnny. When was the last time? If my history would be correct, it would have been Lincoln. And I don't know about you, but Lincoln was a hero to a lot of people because slavery being taken care of and jumping on board with that and the war that was fun with that. I'm just saying, maybe you shouldn't say that.
Still gonna have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that
you need to be in jail. What?
They're still gonna have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
What? I'm sorry. Okay, it may not be the way things are now, but man, back in the day, if you did any kind of threat on a president like that, you're gonna have. That's a call to action. That's a going to jail, man. Are you dumb? He's dumb, obviously, but still, we need to start holding people to their actions. If you are saying that you need to put a bullet in the current president or something like that, you need to go to jail. You don't need to be amongst society. You have a problem. You're mentally not right, and you don't need to be around people. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. That guy needs to be in jail. If he's not in jail right now, that's a problem. I'm sorry. You can't threaten a president. You should not be able to threaten anybody or throw that even out there like that. Not the way he said it. That is, you can say that people may want to, or some people have thought of, but when you're like, you need to do that, no.
As his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
Oh, this chica right here. Oh my gosh. This is disgusting. I'm sorry. This is not Russia. What is this? That's not nice. You can make a political statement without having to basically do death threats on people. And by the way, have you seen this chick lately? She looks horrible. That is what she looks like now. Okay? You can cake on all the makeup you want, lady. You are ugly inside, and it is bleaching its way through your skin to the outside, because what is that? And you can say, oh, it was a bad day. It was a bad camera. Listen, I've seen the most beautiful women in the world get bad pictures taken. You can get a bad picture as a model. You can get I've seen Jenna Ortega not look fantastic, right? I've seen a lot. You can catch people at a bad picture, bad sunlight, bad angle, whatever, and it makes them look bad. People have been doing that forever. But girl, you got a cake on the makeup. How do you go from this to that? How do you do that? You know how you do that? Hours in the makeup chair. Maybe a little tape to pull your skin back a little. Really get those eyes bugging out, you know? That's how you do it. That's how you do it right there. Whew! That's wild. Anyway, Horrible.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
She thought a lot about blowing, that's for sure. There's no question in that. Madonna, you have thought about blowing for years. That was your daily life at one point in life. You know, seriously. She's thought about some blowing. I'm just saying. Okay, sorry.
I will go and take Trump out tonight. And if you see it.
See, I'm sorry. If you're a politician and you say some dumb like that, you don't need to be a politician. You need to get your stuff. That is the most. This is the crazy thing. Some politicians think they can say and do whatever they want, and that proves it to you right there. That proves it. Because I will tell you right now, if I were to threaten any senator, if I were to say anything, if I were to use those exact words she did, right? If I were to use those exact words she did, I'd be in jail. FBI knocking at my door, kicking it in. I'd be in jail. Because she is any sort of politician, she thinks she can say what she wants. That's wrong. We need to start saying, no, you can't, right? And to the people that vote these morons in, you need to reconsider yourself. These people aren't out for you, okay? Notice that the cities and certain areas are destroyed, are overtaxed. The roads suck. Why is that the case? You can't blame anybody but yourself because you're the one voting for it. Now, I feel sorry for the people in the city areas voting a way that will help their community and help their people grow and help their community grow in a positive way and be a lovely community. I hate that these people, their votes are basically, there's no point. Other people vote idiots like this in simply because. Listen to what she says.
Anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
So you want, what she's saying is basically, if you see somebody from the other party out getting gas, out at a restaurant, out doing whatever, harass get out of them. I'm sorry. What kind of bullying bull is that? What are you in high school? You're like 79, 80,000 years old and you can barely hold that microphone. For sakes. And here you are out here talking all this nonsense. Oh, harass them. But here's the thing though. You need to be in jail. This woman, I don't care how old she is, she needs to be in jail because she should know better. If you're telling people to go do something that's going to be harassing, violent, and everything else, which is exactly what she's doing, you need to be in jail. That is a call to action. Why is she still on a platform? Why does she still have any sort of power? She shouldn't. This is where FBI and the federal needs to come in and say, hey, you're threatening people. You're calling people to do things. And this is endangering the lives of other senators and endangering the lives of other politicians, other governors, it doesn't matter. If you're calling that, that's a call to action. And if you can't see that in any other way, that's dumb. She's dumb. She needs to be taken out of office and never put back in. She's obviously senile.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever.
Yes,
to
he
share
did.
his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. Long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis. From the attack on My life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others.
I'm going to stop right there. To the whole insurance thing with that individual, I don't know everything about that particular case. I remember hearing about it a little bit and seeing a few things on the news. I didn't want to interrupt him, but man, I'm going to have to stop it right there. Like, I know it's not right that a CEO, that happened to them. It's not right that it happens to anybody, but I will say that a lot of times insurance companies and these certain corporations, they're not out there to help the little guy, the regular people. And like, there's a lot of insurance companies that deny treatment and deny assistance. For example, like right now, I know that there's a huge thing going on with people people with chronic pain, getting painkillers and just trying to live a normal life, and they're being denied assistance because they're like, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, and then what happens to them? Like, you get these people that have chronic pain, have back injuries, have spinal injuries, have leg injuries, have a car accident like messed them up, and now they're in a constant pain the rest of their life, and you can't give them a painkiller. And then I hear online they're saying that they're trying to basically get everybody off them. And then what happens is you have somebody, if you're in pain, what do? You take some ibuprofen, you take a painkiller, you give something to help you get by so you can continue life and live like on a normal scale. And the problem is, now don't get me wrong, there are some people that abuse those things, but overall you're going to have people that are going to have chronic pain, that are gonna need assistance, and some insurance companies are dropping them, not giving them, denying medication, and everything else, when it really should just be on the doctors to say, like, oh yeah, they can have that. My problem is with that is that what happens with these people? They have chronic pain. Now they're told you're not getting pain meds, so it's either sit and wallow in pain, or go to the streets and look for an alternative, or uninstall yourself. Those are horrible options. And so you took that life from that person, and so like with insurance companies, I think it is sad that an individual went so far to attack a CEO and things like that. But I also think that we need to start holding CEOs responsible for their policies that they put in. If you put in a policy in a company that denies individuals basic health care or some sort of stability of life, and you do that simply for a profit margin or whatever the case may be, being an insurance company, I get you have a profit margin to make, but not at the expense of a person that's been paying your fees and your dues throughout their entire healthy life, and then they get denied for something frivolous or something silly or something stupid, any reason not to give them what they need, as per a doctor saying this is what they need. So I have an issue with that, and I think that CEOs need to be held responsible, not being attacked on the street, but I do think they need to be taken to court and charged with charges. So if you have an individual that basically uninstalls themselves and leaves a note behind saying, well, they would not give me medication and I'm in immense pain, I can't take it anymore, and I'm sorry to my loved ones, to my children, I just can't. And you've broken that person down over so many years, and they were fighting for years to try to fix it. I think you need to have charges on you. You need to be held responsible, and it needs to go all the way up the policies of that change. Say, okay, why were they denied? Who denied them? Why were they denied? That's not good enough. You're getting a charge. Who gave you this position? And it needs to go up. Who made the policy for that? That needs to be looked at. That needs to be broken down. And then it says, okay, who made the policy? Who signed off on it? Okay, that policy takes away health needs for these people for no reason, just because you said. That's not logical. You're getting charges. Who approved that above you? CEO, whatever. Okay, you're getting charges too. Because once you start holding these people accountable for their actions because like right now, all it is like, oh, well, the corporate did it. Oh, well, the company did it. It needs to be who in the company did it. They need to be held responsible. They need to take the blame and they need to fix it, right? So they need to be allowed to be sued, and these people need to win cases. So if you're a CEO of a major corporation and you produced a policy that's going to basically wipe out a lot of healthcare for just because, no real logical reason behind it, just to do it, you need to be held responsible for the damage you do to those individuals, especially individuals that have been paying your salary for 10, 20 years. Okay, let's go. Let's continue this.
Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come.
His voice, his thoughts, his beliefs, that's how we do it. Now, I'll be honest with you. I watched some of his stuff here and there. I don't think I was subscribed on YouTube or anything to him. I'd catch a clip here and there and I'd watch it, and never really did I find anything that I really disagreed with him. I think there's some things that him and I didn't agree on, but for the most part, I think there's a lot of things that I did agree with, and I loved the way he handled people and the way he talked to people, because even though people would get irate and angry and yell and spit and everything else at him, he would always be happy and friendly and smiles, and I love that. I love the way that he would handle that hatred towards him. So what everyone needs to do is we need to keep his memories, his thoughts, and his good intentions, because that's what we have left of him, right? That's what we have, is these videos, these clips, these ideas, because why was he out there doing this? Why was he putting himself in this risk? He was putting himself out there to try to educate people, to try to bring out the word, and to bring out a goodness that humanity can have. In despite of people, some hating him, he was still out there doing it. So I'm gonna say that's something we all need to consider. Speaking facts, honesty, common sense, good man was lost. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave Mr. Donald Trump, his words, I'm gonna leave it on that. I can't say it any better than that. We lost a good man, and regardless of your political affiliation, it's a sad thing to see that a father and husband is taken away from a loving family and was extinguished from the life that he had. I only hope that out there in the world, everyone finds the truth, finds the justice, and finds the fairness that we all seek. We all want one thing, is to be happy. And our happiness has to do with ourselves and has to do with the world we live in. This is a big, bright, beautiful world that we inhabit. There's beauty in nature. There's beauty in family and children. And there's beauty in everything around us, if we find it and if we look for it. Doesn't matter if you don't believe in the left or the right. Both sides need to respect each other. And even though we may not agree on everything, that one side says and everything that the other side says, with common sense and a balance to basically good and evil, we can live a pretty happy life. We can make this world beautiful. You can find peace. And I think that's what all of us want, is peace. So, I hope Charlie Kirk rests in peace. And I hope his message that he was pushing for so hard gets through to so many that were blind. I'm Lala the Clown. If you like this video, hit the button. Make a comment. Whatever you like. Have a great day. And